Welcome to EdTech Wednesday. My name is Maribel Martinez. Today's session is blended learning the Wayground way, using Wayground, formerly known as quizzes, to integrate it into blended learning. And we'll bring you Wayground's video tools, the presentation tool, and DOK tools to supercharge your blended learning. Before we get started, some housekeeping items. Please remember to keep your mic muted, register through the PD system, and drop any questions in the chat. Don't forget to use remote check-in PSJA Tech. The objectives for today is integrating Wayground videos tool to support student learning and student-centered learning, develop DOK-aligned questions that push students to think deeper during rotations. It can be during blended learning, station rotations, or any type of group work. Really, this can be used in elementary, in middle school, and high school. Wayground tools build student-centered activities for blended learning. And we'll explore easy-to-use features that turn everyday lessons into interactive blended learning experiences. And why Wayground? Why the platform Wayground, formerly known as quizzes? Because it keeps learning organized, interactive, student-centered, making it easy to guide, monitor, and personalize instruction during rotations or collaborative work. Here is a sample of this is a Google slide. If you have classroom screen in your classroom, that's awesome. It's the best. But if you don't, you can create a simple Google slide like this one to make sure that you group your students according to their levels, and that way when they're in station rotation or blended learning, they're working at the same levels, and they can help each other out. This is good for when your principals walk in and they want to know how your students were grouped and why they were grouped. This is a great way to display that. Avoids confusion in the classroom as far as who is in what group. It's a great resource. So what I did here is I included 4 groups, and you have the teacher-led station, you have the iReady station, and a description what it is that they're going to do in that station, or as a reminder. It serves as a reminder for your students. We also want to integrate another technology station where you can use Wayground as an activity for your students to do. In a little bit, I'll talk more about the curriculum and the HQIM materials that you can use to integrate Wayground into that station rotation. Also, another activity that can be integrated into your blended learning could be a choice board. That could be a possibility for an extra group, and that way you have 4 groups. You can have up to 5. I mean, it all depends on your class size, right? But in here, I included a timer. It's always good practice to, in your blended learning, also include a check station where you could have like the answers for your students to check on, since they're working independently in their groups. So, and I even included like a little challenge if that you could include to make it a little bit more fun. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this slide into the chat. Let me see. So that if you need, you can use this presentation with your teachers or share it with somebody else. If you don't have classroom screen, you can use this Google slide as for your groups. Okay. And then one of the very important things that you need to take into consideration when creating materials for like in another platform is to make sure that you're using your curriculum. For today's presentation, for today's things that we are going to create, I am using the middle school curriculum. So feel free to go to your curriculum and pull something from there so that you can test it out while we're already using our platform. And you can find it under Clever. If you go to Clever, sign on, and in here you have the Wayground activity. I'm sorry, the Wayground platform. It's right here. This is what it looks like. I'm going to click on it. Okay. I'm going to, the first thing that I want to cover will be the DOK questions. Okay, so this is what the icon within Wayground looks like, and you can create DOK-aligned questions that push students beyond just the answers to deeper thinking, analysis, and application for blended learning. We are using HQIM materials. You can use your study sync stories. You can create talk to text, implement the talk to text, use any TEKS skills or Google slide decks, and put them into Wayground so that you can create those tools. Okay, so I'm going to go to Wayground. You're going to click on Create. Here's that icon that I was telling you about. It's to create DOK questions. I'm going to click on this one. And I'm going to generate with AI. Since, let's say you've already used everything you have in the curriculum for the week, you want to create something extra. So make sure that they are DOK level 3 questions, and you can use AI within Wayground to create those questions. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to upload from my desktop. Let me see. Okay. Document. I'm going to use a story from the middle school curriculum that was for this week. It's called We Are the Same Team. And on here, since we want the DOK level 3 questions, I'm going to say that I only want 10. The subject is ELA, RLA, grade 6. The DOK, I don't want to keep it too simple. I want to challenge the students a little bit. So I'm going to only do level 3. Okay. So then from here, you generate the quiz. It's being generated, so let's just wait and see what it gives us. Okay, so based on the letter, because it was a letter from the for the reading for the week, how does the author feel about the statement in volleyball? So it's going to take we're probably going to need the reading as well alongside the questions to make sure that it coincides as and the students, it's easier for the students to read and follow along with the questions. Make sure to vet each question. And you have about 10 here. Once you're ready to publish, make sure you vet everything. If it looks okay to you, you can always go and edit the questions, delete questions, or just use the ones you need. And you can publish. And then from here, you're going to assign to your Google Classroom to your students for that group of students that you have in your class. I don't have an actual classroom, but I do have a class set up, which is this one right here. It's just a test class that I have, but this is where you would find your classes, okay? And one thing that I do want to mention is that we do have the free version of Wayground, but you can create up to 20 quizzes, and then from there, if you start getting like a notification that you cannot create anymore, you can delete some of the ones that you already have and start recreating new ones. The check-in code is remote check-in. I'm sorry, PSJ Tech. I just saw that message on the chat. Any questions so far that you have about DOK questions? Okay. The next thing that I wanted to cover was the presentation, I'm sorry, the presentation tool. And let me go to that right now. I'm going to go back to, let me get out of here. And in here, we have the presentation. I'm going to import something that I already have in my Google Drive, and I'm going to assume it's the lesson that I have for the week. Our curriculum team does a real good job about providing a Google slide deck for our middle school students every week. So I took this week's lesson. Okay. So it's importing my Google slide deck that's in the curriculum, which is what the students are doing this week. And maybe I want only certain slides to reteach or to review or practice. And like for every slide, I want to have a question for that slide to make sure that I am reinforcing the understanding. So I'm going to say teach. And it's generating some questions with AI. And as you can see right here, that is what is taking place. It's generating some questions. Okay, and so it went from what is an argument? That's the first slide in our Google slide deck. And then the question is, why is it important for a writer to consider the audience and purpose when crafting the argument? If you feel like this question is too hard for the students, you can edit, you can delete, only use the ones you need. So it does a question for every slide. Okay. Any questions on how to do that? So this is how you can integrate those slides. Okay. And then once you are ready to publish, your students will see the slide, the original one, and then they can jump to the question, and that's how they get to see it. This is the student preview. Okay. And then once you're ready to publish, again, you save it, select the grade. And assign it to your class. In my case, it would be this one right here. Okay. So going back, the last thing that I have to cover for Wayground today is the video. And I did save this one for the end because it does take a little bit longer to create that video. So let's see what it can do for us. I'm going to go back home. Okay, create, and you have the video here. You can use any YouTube video. If you create something and you have a video already for your students, you can upload that one as well. You have the library. I know that this week my students are covering argument, so I can type in argument in here. And these are all the videos in the library that it has about argument. And I'm going to be a little bit more specific. I'm going to say argument writing. If this is not what I need, I can keep on searching or include. Our curriculum also has videos on there. I'm going to go to YouTube, use the YouTube icon to go into argument writing. And I've seen this one before by the Khan Academy. It's a great video, and I know this will help my students, so I'm going to use this one. And it's a 4-minute and 36-second video. I'm going to go ahead and proceed so that it can create some questions. You can add a note for your students, like let's say you want them to just tell them what the objective is for watching this video or doing this lesson. If you want them to stop at a certain point, like at the 2-minute mark and answer a question, you can make that note for them as well. And this is the part that takes a little bit. So, you know, earlier I tried it out. It took a few minutes, but it'll start generating questions. And then make sure you vet those questions, include any questions that you want to include in there, and then publish it as well. It works the same way by publishing and assigning it to your Google Classroom. So as you can see here, I'm going to preview it, and it goes into multiple choice questions. Okay, if you're ready to publish, select the grade level. You can include an image and then once you're ready, assign it to your classroom. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And like I said, going back to this slide right here, when you're doing blended learning, you can tell them exactly what they're going to do for Wayground. Give a brief description of anything that's going on for that station. When your administration walks in, principals walk in, they like to see what's going on in each station. It avoids the confusion. So this is a great way to present the blended learning to your students and to teachers and staff. That is all for today.